the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines. Hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD
Armed Forces of the Philippines denies memo
One
restricting
AFP
freedom of
for a
expression
stronger
to soldiers
Philippines.
seen on social media.
Rob Suzon every 12
Former
noon,
NPA
Mondays
members
to
applying for
Fridays.
amnesty in
Only
Eastern
here.
Visayas hits 433. COMELEC tags 167 areas of concern. DPWH creates committee to curb the collapse of the Cabagan-Santa Maria Bridge in Isabela.
The official statement by the AFP stated that the AFP upholds the right to freedom of expression for all citizens. Meanwhile, the AFP encouraged the public to a responsible online engagement and critical evaluation of information to mitigate the spread of disinformation.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And former members of the New People's Army asking to apply for amnesty from the National Amnesty Commission hit 433 in Eastern Visayas. From the 433 record, 344 were processed by the local amnesty board in Catbalogan City, Samar, while 99 applications passed in Tacloban City Lab in Leyte Island. NAPCA Chairperson Leah Tanodra Armamento emphasized that the amnesty grant is a big step for the FR's reintegration to the society. Meanwhile, the amnesty extends to the crimes such as rebellion, but not including private crimes like rape.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
For other updates, let us hear the details about war material recovered from Negros Occidental clash. Go on for the details, Leonor.
War material was recovered after an encounter between the 79th Infantry Battalion and the New People's Army in Sitio Bairan, Barangay General Luna, Taboso, Negros Occidental. According to the 3rd Infantry Division, the 79th Infantry Battalion was responding to reports for atrocities in the area when they encountered at least 7 members of the dismantled Northern Negros Front Committee Rayon, Negros Cebu, Bohol, Siquijor. After the 16-minute firefight, the troops recovered an M16 assault rifle, a caliber 38 revolver, magazines for M16, and AK-47, ammunition, subversive documents with high intelligence value, and personal belongings. Meanwhile, more than 400 individuals were displaced by the encounter. This is Leonor Tanap reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Leonor.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Philippine Air Force and the Korean Defense Acquisition Program Administration strengthened its ties with the latter's visit to the Philippine Air Force Headquarters, Colonel Jesus Villamor Air Base, Pasay City. PAF Vice Commander Major General Aristotle D. Gonzales warmly welcomed the Defense Acquisition Program Administration Minister Suk Jung-gun of the Republic of Korea and discussed matters pertaining to the deepening of military cooperation between the Republic of Korea and the Philippines. Meanwhile, the two officials explored opportunities for future joint activities and initiatives to enhance bilateral defense relations and further strengthen the partnership between the two nations.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the Philippine Navy strengthened ties with the Italian Navy in the latter's visit in the Navy headquarters in Manila. The Philippine Navy welcomed Vice Admiral Andrea Gueglio, Director for Personal Employment, Italian Navy, and His Excellency DWDD, Italian Ambassador to the Philippines, as they paid a courtesy call to Vice Admiral Jose Maria Ambrosio Izpileta, Philippine Navy, the flag officer in command of the Philippine Navy. Highlighted during the meeting was the shared commitment of both navies to enhancing defense cooperation, particularly in shipbuilding, modernization, joint exercises, and strategic dialogues. Meanwhile, the visit of the Italian Navy is in line with the Philippine Navy's goal of enhancing interoperability, technological advancement, and regional security cooperation.
DWDD Armed Forces News. Armed Forces Radio.
On the other line, let us hear more from Gina about 6th Infantry Division Commander ensures orderly and peaceful elections in Central Mindanao. Gina?
Yes, Jhai, 6th Infantry Campilan Division and Joint Task Force Central Commander Major General Donald M. Gumiran, Philippine Army, assured the public of orderly and peaceful national and local elections this May 2025 during the Political Candidates Forum held at the 6th ID headquarters. In his statement, Major General Gumiran guaranteed that the 6th ID will remain steadfast in ensuring a secure and peaceful electoral process and will continue working to protect the integrity of the elections and uphold peace and order in Central Mindanao. During the said forum, political candidates running for gubernatorial positions in Maguindanao del Sur and Maguindanao del Norte came face to face and were reminded of their moral and social responsibility to ensure that their political rivalry remains civil and does not incite conflict among their supporters. Meanwhile, the Armed Forces of the Philippines and the Philippine National Police have intensified their efforts to ensure a peaceful election. This is Gina reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Gina.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
And the quick reaction team of the 2nd Civil Military Operations Siniringan Company, 8th Civil Military Operations Battalion, together with the personnel from the 93rd Infantry Bantay Kaagapay Battalion, facilitated a grand pulong-pulong and peace covenant signing at Sitio Kulikuli, Barangay Kahandugan, Haro, Leyte. Along with the troops from the 2nd units, various local agency representatives also attended, including the MSWDO Haro, PNP Haro, DAR Haro, NICA 8, DTI, DARFO 8, and DILG. The discussions focused on the available benefits of the participants, especially the locals who were encouraged to disengage from the communist terrorist group. Meanwhile, the event concluded with a symbolic act, the burning of the CPP flag, and a declaration of withdrawal of support to the CTG.
DWDD Armed Forces News.
For our national news,
DWDD National News.
the Commission on Elections identified 167 cities and municipalities as areas of concern in connection with the upcoming elections. COMELEC Chairman George Erwin Garcia said that 11 were placed under the red category or areas of grave concern, and 50 were in the orange category or with serious threats. Meanwhile, 41 areas were in the yellow category with a history of election-related incidents, and 63 were in the green category with no security concerns. Topping the list of areas under the red category is the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear a reporter on the ground about Commander Northern Luzon Command orders stronger intelligence coordination at 5th Infantry Division. Go on for the details, Melzoy.
Yes, Jhai, Lieutenant General Fernil G. Buca, Philippine Air Force, Commander of the Northern Luzon Command Armed Forces of the Philippines, visited the 5th Infantry Division in Gamo, Isabela on March 17, 2025 to reinforce operational priorities. Brigadier General Santiago I. Enginco, Philippine Army, Assistant Division Commander of 5th Infantry Division, welcomed Lieutenant General Buca and provided an operational update. Lieutenant General Buca ordered establishment of a dedicated dedicated intelligence desk to streamline information on high-value personalities and eliminate inefficiencies in data handling. He also tasked the division with assisting its brigades in executing Northern Luzon Command's mission with greater speed and precision. He reminded the troops to remain vigilant, uphold military discipline, and ensure seamless coordination in all operations. He emphasized that as a jointly engaged, sustainment-maintained, and readiness-trained force, Northern Luzon Command demands personnel who are masipag in service, matapang in action, magalang in conduct, and responsible in duty. This is Mildred Nesho Arroco reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Maljoy.
DWDD National News.
And the Philippine Health Insurance Corporation has increased the coverage of its animal bite treatment package. The ABT package includes rabies vaccine and rabies immune globulin for immediate protection. PhilHealth President and CEO Edwin Mercado said that the package cost recently increased to 5,850 from the previous 3,000 pesos. However, Mercado reminded the public to be responsible pet owners as the first line of defense against rabies is ensuring that the pets are vaccinated. The Department of Health earlier said that all 426 recorded rabies cases in 2024 resulted in death.
DWDD National News.
And the House Committee on Transportation approved in principle House Bill 1143-3, a measure that aims to strengthen the Philippine Coast Guard. After a bill was approved by House Committee, it will be discussed at the House plenary level. PCG Commandant Admiral Ronnie Hill Gavan said they are grateful for the collective effort of the members of Congress in championing measures that seek to strengthen the agency and enhance their capabilities. The bill seeks to address operational and administrative gaps within the PCG and equip the agency with the necessary capabilities, including emergency and medical aid to perform its mandate.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
And now let us hear more updates from Mike about 4 loose firearms surrender in Maguindanao del Sur. Mike?
Yes, as part of the government's small arm and light weapon management program, 4 high-powered firearms were surrendered to the 6th Infantry Redskin Battalion in Dato Salibo, Maguindanao del Sur. The said firearms include 1 M79 40mm, 2 US caliber 30 M1 Garand, and 1 mortar 60mm. The surrender of the mentioned firearms was in line with the Municipal Peace and Order Council meeting, wherein Dato Salibo Mayor officially presented the loose firearms to 6th of 1st Infantry Brigade Commander. Meanwhile, 6th of 1st Infantry Brigade Commander Major General Edgar L. Katuk, Philippine Army, commanded the cooperation and support of the residents in the government's small arm and light weapon management program. This is Mike reporting for AFP Community News, 1 AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Mike.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Public Works and Highways has formed a special committee to investigate the collapse of the Cabagan Santa Maria Bridge in Isabela last month. DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonuan said the committee would be headed by Undersecretary Ana Lapuz and Undersecretary Eric Yapana as chairman and co-chairman respectively. To ensure an impartial investigation, the committee will gather, collate, and consolidate all pieces of evidence, compel the attendees or attendance of DWDD employees knowledgeable of any circumstance in relation to the bridge, and constitute a composite team, technical working group, and secretariat to assist the committee. They were also ordered to prepare an investigation plan with a corresponding timeline to be presented to the office of the secretary within 3 days from the issuance of the directive.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Education Secretary has urged greater support for the country's farm schools. Deputy Secretary Sonny Angara emphasized that these institutions play a crucial role in advancing the Marcos administration's vision for food security and economic development. Angara also cited that students have the land to cultivate and operate like a farm while still being a school. He emphasized that this is an essential lesson for senior high school students as the agency wants to teach them entrepreneurship, accounting, and business skills.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
We have a report coming in from China about the AFP calls on remaining CTG members to grab government amnesty offer. China?
The Armed Forces of the Philippines continues to call on remaining members of the communist terrorist group to surrender, return to the folds of the law, and grab the government's offer to apply for an amnesty. According to AFP spokesperson Colonel Francel Margaret Padilla, Philippine Army, the deadline set is in accordance with the law passed to grant amnesty to those former rebels who surrendered to the government. Colonel Padilla said a total of 242 communist rebels neutralized in the first quarter of the year. 19 were killed, 206 surrendered, and 17 were apprehended. Meanwhile, the AFP confirmed that the communist rebels are already experiencing a leadership vacuum and there are no available resources for the remnants. This is Shaina Araneta reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Shaina.
DWDD National News.
And the National Economic and Development Authority or NEDA board has approved a total of nearly 71 billion pesos worth of projects during the 25th meeting yesterday. The biggest approved project was the 56.7 billion pesos Philippine Community Resilience Project. This aims to enhance disaster preparedness and strengthen resilience in the country's most vulnerable areas. Alongside with this, the NEDA board also approved the construction of the 13.9 billion pesos Tumanay River Multipurpose Project in Isabela. The project aims to irrigate around 8,200 hectares across the city of Ilagan.
DWDD National News.
And the Bureau of Immigration is taking a policy shift in the deportation of arrested Philippine offshore gaming operator workers. Immigration spokesman Dana Sandoval disclosed that BI will come out with a new internal policy that POGO workers set for deportation would no longer be allowed to purchase airline tickets with layovers. This comes after it was revealed in a Senate hearing that 3 Chinese POGO bosses allegedly did not return to China following their deportation from the Philippines. The 3 reportedly boarded a flight for China with a stopover in Hong Kong but reportedly took another flight and are now believed to be in Taiwan.
DWDD National News. Armed Forces Radio.
More updates from about Philippine Navy to escort DENR in establishing West Philippine Sea Marine Research Stations. Go ahead for the details, Bea.
The Philippine Navy announced that it will escort the Department of Natural Resources in establishing additional marine scientific research stations in the West Philippine Sea. According to Navy spokesman for the WPS, Rear Admiral Roy Vincent Trinidad, the Navy will make sure to accompany the DENR if needed. The DENR recently announced it will conduct integrated research on biodiversity conservation at the Recto Bank and Rizal Reef in April, and plans to establish a marine scientific research station in Pag-asa Island, complementing its existing and upcoming stations at Tupataha Reef, Snake Island in Palawan, and the Verde Island Passage. Meanwhile, the research stations will serve as sentinel sites for marine biodiversity protection and will contribute to national security. This is Beatrice reporting for AFP Community News, One AFP for a Stronger Philippines.
Thank you, Bea.
DWDD National News.
The Union of Local Authorities of the Philippines, or ULAP, is calling for more active participation of the local government units in addressing the country's transportation crisis. ULAP National President Dakila Kua emphasized that transportation policies must be decentralized and commuter-centered. He pointed to the inefficiencies caused by outdated national policies and called for greater LGU autonomy in transport management. Kua also urges local leaders to push for reforms that align with the realities on the ground or based on the experience of the commuters.
DWDD National News.
And the Department of Energy has announced that the Philippine Energy Plan will not be revised this year. This is despite the ongoing efforts to advance energy development and enhance security and reliability. DOE Energy Policy Planning Bureau Director Michael Sinacruz said that the current energy targets remain, but they would add more on the strategies. The DOE describes the PEP 2023 to 2040 as a comprehensive energy blueprint that integrates renewable energy and energy efficiency and conservation programs.
DWDD National News.
For our final news, the Japanese Embassy in Manila opened 5 visa application centers nationwide. This aims to expedite visa processing and issuance as Japan becomes a favorite destination of Filipino tourists. The embassy advised Filipino tourists to file their visa application 2 months before their expected arrival. There will be Japan visa application centers in Parañaque City, Makati City, Quezon City, Cebu City, and Davao City.
DWDD National News.
And that's all for today's broadcast. Thank you for joining us, especially to our audience in our Facebook page, AFP Radio DWDD. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for more updates, same time, same station. Again, this is Jhai Simbajon for AFP Community News, one AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Behold the latest military news update. This is AFP Community News, hosted by Rob Suzon every 12 noon, Mondays to Fridays. Only here on DWDD Armed Forces Radio. One AFP for a stronger Philippines.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.